Hi, my name is Erin, and today we are going to be talking about long distance relationships. Are you in a long distance relationship? Do you know someone in a long distance relationship? Your neighbor, maybe, your brother, perhaps, or your best friend? Well, you need to stay tuned because today we are going to share about how we can make the most of these situations to ensure that we still thrive in our marriages. And I do family related content. My passion is to see all families and marriages thrive. A long distance marriage is one where you spend days or weeks or months away from your spouse, like an increased time away from your spouse. For example, in my situation, I spend about 5 days separate from my husband, then we unite for about 2 or 3 days, depending on his schedule. These things of my spouse went to study, my husband works up country, my wife works in the next district, all create a long distance marriage. So we're going to do a SWOT analysis of sorts about a long distance relationship, just to examine the good things and the bad things, of course, from my experience about a long distance marriage. But before we get into that, I'm going to just share a little bit about my life and experience in long distance marriage. So I'll be making 6 years in marriage this September. Whoop, whoop. Yeah, I'll be making 6 years in marriage this September, and of those 6 years, 3.5 of them have been spent in a long distance situation. My husband works away, he works in the field away from home during weekdays and is able to return on the weekends. But despite this geographical distance, we've still made it work, and today I just want us to share tips, hacks on how we can thrive and make the most of our marriages so that distance has got nothing on us. There are two things I love about a long distance marriage. One is the time away from each other allows you to miss each other. When you miss something or someone, you're able to understand their value in their life and thereafter appreciate them when you're together. And that's what happens for us. Like the days away that I wish hubby was around and he's not, allow me to appreciate the little time we have together and make the most of it. And the second thing I appreciate about a long distance marriage is it gives you time to pursue your personal goals and dreams. Truth be said, sometimes when you're living together, you can find you find yourself feeling a little bit guilty if you have to go away for days or an extended period of time to pursue your personal goals. But when you're in a long distance marriage, you just have the time. You're free to do whatever you want to do without any restrictions or feeling guilty, huh? So I have found two disadvantages long distance marriages or relationships, and the first one is it just steals away time, guys. When you're not together physically, you have lost time to create memories, like together, and you just can't get it back no matter what you do. Even if you try whatever form of communication or technology, there's just that thing about physical togetherness that is, of course, stolen away. So I mean, if you're even a parent, you miss memories with your children, like the first time they walk. You can leave when the child is crawling, then you come back when they are walking. You miss things like the first time they talk and things like that. So it can be challenging, losing the time and missing memories. Another terrible disadvantage about long distance marriages or relationships is it steals away your time for sexual intimacy. Like, if we are to be honest, the one activity that's exclusive to marriage is sex. So when you're not together physically, I mean, you can get as creative as you can, but nothing beats physical sex. So yeah, it steals away your time to do that, and kind of can affect your connection. So yeah, that's it about our SWOT analysis. Let's get right into the tips to ensure that we thrive. The number one thing that you really have to work on and be intentional about when you're in a long distance relationship or marriage is communication. Like, this is like the bloodline of your relationship, because remember, you're not seeing each other, so you have to make sure that you keep in touch as much as possible. We are very blessed to be in an era where technology has gone up there. So we have things like WhatsApp, we have Facebook, we have YouTube, we have Instagram. I mean, we're just lucky. Imagine guys who are in long distance marriages, those days where they had to communicate by post, or email. Like you can't see someone. By the time imagine you're sending a text to someone and saying, I miss you, and then they see it 2 weeks later. You have to write it, post it, then it reaches them 2 weeks later, and by the time it reaches them, you even don't miss them anymore. You've moved on. So for us, we are lucky. We can communicate real time, use WhatsApp, and make the most of it. You can do video calls. I mean, guys, we're just lucky. I think God saw that me and you, we would need just softer life in terms of communication, and so we were born in this era where we are able to do real-time communication. We no longer have excuses of I don't have money. Those things. If someone is probably living abroad and you have to call, then you think it's expensive to call abroad. Today, we can do WhatsApp calls for free. All you need is data. Can you imagine? So you have to make the most. If you're so forgetful and maybe you have busy days, you can even just set it as an alarm. Schedule it in your calendar so that you get an alarm and say, call hubby, call wifey, so that you keep in touch, talk, share with your spouse how you're feeling, your dreams, the things you're up to. Try and just give like a narration, a summary of how your day is going, so that you give the other person an inside look of what's happening in your life, even when they are away. So share, take pictures and share. If you've gone shopping, share. If you bought a new outfit, a new hairstyle, take pictures and share. And the real-time communication can help us to also manage our sexual urges. You share pictures of whatever, as long as you ensure that you can manage the privacy, and they're going to only your spouse, and probably delete after or something. But communication is very, very key. So make sure you are doing that. Keep in touch with your spouse. Write mail, messages, appreciate them on social media. Like, do whatever you have to do to make sure you're in touch with your spouse, because this is like the only connection you have. So make the most of it. The other thing that we have to be really intentional about when you're in a long distance marriage is time management. Guys, when you're in a long distance marriage, you have to make sure that the time you have together, you use it creatively and effectively. Like, make the most of it. You can't just be there. Your husband has been away for 2 years, he has come for 2 weeks, then for you in those 2 weeks, that's when you remember to go for a 1 week conference away. That's like very unwise. So you have to make sure that the time you have together, like, be together, create memories, connect, make up for the lost time. Don't just cherish it, treasure it, because it's little. Very soon your spouse is going to go away, and like I said, you'll be able to do these other things. So make sure that you're together, you're connecting, you're talking, you're dreaming together, you're working together, just spending time together to connect. So personally, I am very, very protective of my weekends, because that's the time I have with my spouse. I don't like to do things over the weekend if I can't do them with my spouse. So whatever gathering there is on the weekend, when I see people posting, guys, there's this on Saturday or on Sunday, and I can't go with my spouse, I just go like, I'm going to have to miss that one, because I have to make the most of my marriage. My marriage is number one on my priority list, and so I have to, guard it with all my heart. So yeah, like, treasure the time. So what I do is, if I'm going to go for anything over the weekend, I must be able to go with my husband, so that much as we are at an event or something, we are still together, and we'll be able to steal some moments and connect. So yeah, make sure you make great use of the time that you have together. This is the time to have those critical conversations. Some conversations which can't be had on the phone. So when you're together, make sure you are having them. Also, banage, guys, this time management thing, this is the time to also have as much sex as you can, because the person is going to go. So the downside of this, this is so funny, but I'm going to share anyway. So my worst time Or the worst period is like when my periods come, when my husband is coming back like tomorrow, I just go like, Jesus Christ, couldn't you just wait till Monday? Like, you can come for the whole week for all I care, but this weekend, give it to me. I need to use it. So anyway, make the most of your time. Wives in long distance marriages, are you like me and you cry with your parents when they come? When hubbies are around? Write in the comment section and tell me. The third thing that I would advise that is going to help you in a long distance relationship or marriage is creativity, guys. Like, you have to be creative. You don't have the luxury that these other people have. Say, I'll see him in the evening. I'll see her when we get back from work. No, for you, your time is limited. So be creative. Make sure you're in your spouse's face even when you're not. Like, for example, if you're away, you can send a gift. Buy for a person land. We are in an era where we can order and things are delivered without any physical contact. So if you are abroad, buy something, buy lunch, order. Javas has an app, order, so that when your spouse is there at home or at work, they just receive a phone call and there's lunch and maybe a note from you. They're able to know that you're thinking about them even when you're not there. On their birthdays, if you're not there, still make sure things are happening. Celebrate them, throw them a party. They are party organizers, or your family, they can still organize something that shows them that you care even when you're physically absent. Like, there's so much gifting. Send flowers, send whatever, pay for tickets for concerts and all these things, just to keep in your spouse's face even if you're not there physically, if you know what I mean. But just to remind your spouse each and every single day that you care. So be creative in gifting, in writing letters. You can make use of social media to appreciate them, and like, just do that affirmation, public affirmation. It will matter to them, especially when they're not seeing you. They'll say, oh, he cares, he's thinking about me, things like that. So be creative. Just look, it depends. Customize the creativity to your relationship and make the most of it. My fourth tip on thriving in a long distance marriage or relationship is you need a support group. Like, you need a support system. Marriage was meant to be done between two people who are living together, not apart. So when someone is away, there's always a gap that has been created, and you must find ways to fill it. So maybe if your spouse is abroad, get a support group, people that you can lean on, that can help you in ways that your spouse would have helped. Make use of family members. You can make use of friends and people like that, people who will support you. I remember when we had just gotten married, so we came back from our honeymoon of 1 week, and my husband had to go back to work. We had just shifted, guys, so I'd never lived away from home all my life. So we had shifted into this house, and then the guy left me there. I was just like, who's going to stay here? It was very far away from my home and it was very lonely. But what I did, I just started calling my friends over to come and help me, to come and sleep over, so that I could get used. Like, that first month, I was either calling people to come and sleep over, or I was the one going to sleep over at their homes. And so that support from my friends and family helped me get through the tough times, the loneliness and all. Also, for example, if you're having a baby when your spouse is away, or just they need something, they need help, you're going to always need support from people. So identify a support group or a support system from different people to help you maneuver through life as you wait for that time when you'll be able to live with your spouse. Finally, I would like to also say that it's important that you pray for your spouse and also patiently wait for that time when things are better and you're able to be together. So when your spouse is away, you don't know what they're up to, you don't know the challenge, you may not know real time or really understand the intensity of the challenges they are facing, especially if they're in a foreign country or a foreign community. So the best way you can support them or be there for them is to pray for them. Pray for them, cover them in the blood of Jesus. Pray that they are working excellently and efficiently, so that maybe they can get a transfer or a promotion back home. And just keep praying for them, that they are able to exercise self-control and stay faithful. Yes, we have heard of those partners who go and then they get married where they have gone. So you need to pray that your spouse is able to exercise self-control and stay faithful to you, and just all these other things that people face in life, to be good at his job, so that maybe he also gets a support group, or she gets a support group where they are, things like that, so that you and them can be able to live a productive life. And please feel free to share in the comment section what you think, or the things that have helped you to thrive in your long distance relationship and marriage, and I'll be glad to connect with you. Also, don't forget to share this video with people who you think need it. I mean, subscribe if you're not subscribed, and let's grow this community of thriving families and marriages. Thank you for watching. Bye.